Hey everyone, it's Julian, and today we're going to be looking at decks that are doing well in day one of set 3. These are all decks taken from Japanese players. Most of them are professional players of Shadowverse, and we're going to be basically looking at one for almost every class. I did exclude Rune and Force because those are two decks that basically have nothing new, right? It's Rune, you're playing the same list that we've been playing for 6 weeks, and Roach, you're probably just playing the same Roach. Maybe the 4 cost, right? I actually haven't seen a ton of Roach lists myself, but anyway, we're going to start talking about these decks. This one is from Era 53. He is, of course, basically an Abyss main right now. He was one of the best players in Shadowverse 1. And he is playing the Mode Abyss or the Choose Abyss. I, of course, did play this type of deck on stream yesterday, so if you want to check out gameplay of that, please hit that up. That'd be awesome. And it was pretty fun. My issue with it was the same issue I have with every Abyss deck, and that is the inconsistency. You really need to see like 5 of your 9 big bodies, and if you see 4, you lose. If you see 3, you lose even harder, right? And sometimes you need to see specific versions, but there was a lot of games where it was like, if I draw Gensetsu here, I win the game, and there's like 3 or 4 turns in a row where it's like, if I draw Gensetsu, I win the game. If I draw, you just never do, and then you lose, right? But pretty standard list here. They are playing the 1 Mummy and the 1 Razor Claw, or the Rage of Serpents. And that, I believe, is for more reach in the endgame, because this is an issue with this deck where it's very much like a control deck. It kind of wins off the value of your own cards, right? Because once you get the Sham Nacha ability, I call it the Yamcha ability, off, all of your cards are going to be doing a lot of value and a lot of things, right? So eventually you're going to just outgrind your opponent. Granted, you draw the right cards, right? But there's not a lot of ways to close the game if you need to speed it up, right? Like against decks like Rune, and that has been my main issue, is I don't think this deck can really ever beat Rune unless you start including a lot more of these Mummies, Razor Claws, or Rage of Serpents, and other storm threats, maybe some ghost generators like the Amulet, and obviously he's playing Soray, so maybe if you try to hoard the Sorays, but other than that, it's a little rough to beat Rune and some of those other decks, but same with Roach as well. But I do like this deck. I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff that it just fits my playstyle a lot, but unfortunately, I just don't think it is there yet. I think it's at a solid like tier 2, but maybe some improvements, some changes, maybe mixing more of the old Abyss stuff in could help. Next, we have a deck that I'm actually very excited about. This is Ramp Dragon from Nuke. That's at least their Twitter handle. I don't know if that is their player name or whatever. And this is the classic Ramp Dragon. This looks like exactly what we've seen in history past of Shadowverse. This is the classic, 5 to 6 ramp, and we're just playing all the good cards. And I think that's what I really wanted to see from Gamu getting added, because she really helped us initiate that back in Shadowverse 1, where we just have this really good early game engine, and we can play a lot of this other ramp targets, right? So we're playing the Disdainful Rending and the Servant of Disdain, whatever they're called in the new game. But, the 1 drop that deals 3, and then the 2/2 that draws a card if it gets hit. Then we're playing the Megal Orcas and all of that package, which I really, really like. The Megal Orcas are really strong. The fact that they have Rush really helps you lock down the early game. Then, of course, we have our 5 ramp. It's interesting to see them play 3 Dragon Signs and 2 of the 4 drop instead of 6 total, or like 3 of the 4 drop. Then we have Merman, Galmu, Forte, Odin, all of our Storm Bodies. Burn Knight, which is a card I really, really like in a deck like this. And we have our 3 Neptunes, just, our very big board card for that mid game, because we're ramping, right? Then we have Garyu, which is, of course, another really high value card. And then we have the 1 of Azure Ifrit. I believe he says in this post that, like, you can maybe put it down to 0. But then we have the 2 Genesis Dragon. I really, really like a deck like this. This is definitely my type of play. So I think if I have enough dust, I'd want to build this. I have most of the stuff outside of Galmu, so and I probably would just not play Ifrit. But yeah, this is a really cool deck. Definitely give this a try if you are a Dragon enjoyer or a true Dragon enjoyer, not a Fenny player. I'm joking. I'm sorry, y'all. Next we have Portal. This is Lashena Portal, and this is more of the pure Lashena Portal. And it's a pretty interesting deck. I've played it a couple times on ladder, and it really outgrinds a lot of these board-based decks like Sword is something I found, and it's kind of an interesting place in the meta. I think that if we were in a format where we could ban a deck or something, or control what our opponent plays to a higher degree in tournaments, I think this would be a great pick. I think this is really nice into a lot of those board decks, but again, probably not being Rune, but yeah, this is a cool deck. I like that they're playing the 4-drop 4/4 that becomes a ward, or is a ward and becomes a big body. And that's something that's pretty interesting. I haven't seen a ton, but we're playing the dogged one and a bunch of all the other Lashena generators and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool deck. I want to try it, but I don't know how strong it is really. But it is a very cool deck. If you are a Lashena enjoyer, definitely check it out. Then we have Spicy's list. Of course, Spicy's is a pro player, and he mains Sword. And his lists are always a little, unique, right? Not that they're, bad or anything. I mean, they're just different, right? So this is a very, I would say, one of his more standard lists, I would say. But we are missing a lot of interesting cards. Like, we're not playing an Amelia. We're not playing Amalia either. That's a card that's been cut, kind of. I still like Amalia just because it's a really big board generator, and I really like to try to outgrind people as Swords. That's something they can do. But the big missing card here is Gildaria. No Gildaria here. I think that is because you're just never really getting to rally 20 in a loot deck like this, which does make me question how good is this type of deck, or can we sort of fit in Gildaria and fit in some more rally generators just to play the best sword card in the game, right? But yeah, I've been playing this deck a little bit. It's a little bit different. I'm not playing Quick Blader, and I am playing Gildaria and some Amelias, and I really, really like it. It's very strong. It speeds the game up really quickly. We were talking about, Albert wins games on turn 9. You're kind of winning games on turn 7 to 8, which is very fast and a little concerning with the speed of the game. That is how we got into some issues in Shadowverse 1, right? Is every so often the turn timer for a normal game, an average game, would go down. So it'd be like, eventually we'd hit, okay, games are ending on turn 6, right? And that just didn't feel amazing. But hopefully that's not happening. Hopefully this is more like just the sort of aggro deck in the format a little bit, right? And this is the fastest deck. But I really don't want anything to be faster than this deck, if that makes sense, right? So, but pretty good deck. If you like Sword and not a ton of upgrades, right? You just need, well, I guess you need both of the new legendaries, so don't disregard that. But yeah, very, very cool deck. I think it's really strong. If I was going into SVO tomorrow, which kind of will be, I mean, in a week, right? We're going to have our first SVO of set 3. I would be playing this deck and the Rune that I've been playing for 6 weeks. But yeah, just because I haven't had enough time to try a bunch of other stuff. I would like to try Dragon eventually here. That's something that interests me and might be pretty good, but we will have to see. Last but not least, we have Haven. This is sort of Control Haven, Marwyn Haven, Repose Haven, I guess you could call it. But this is kind of a combo of a lot of interesting things. Of course, we're playing a lot of the ward stuff, Wilbert and Grimnir, right? Grimnir, those both give us crests, but they are also ward cards. And I really like this combination of all of this stuff. I think this is a really cool control deck if you are a control player. I think this is going to be the premier, hard control deck in the format. And it's pretty cool. I played against it a couple times, and it seems like a really nice deck. I like that they're putting Himeka to 1. This is a card that I've noticed after reading it a couple times, just doesn't really do much for this deck, right? It's just kind of a worse grail, but you do like to have a lot of crests and stuff like that. So really give this deck a try if you like control decks. I think this is a really cool deck. 1 Salafe is pretty interesting, but now we do have the 4-drop that deals 3 damage to the AoE, or with the AoE. Interesting to see them play the 4-drop Amulet. I really did not think that card was very strong, but you know, we'll have to see. So those are 5 decks you can try that are doing well in set 3, basically after day 1. We're kind of in day 2 now, so check those out. I, made sure to not block the QR code, right? So hopefully you guys can build these pretty easily, and hopefully these gives you some ideas on what to do and what to play. We're going to be trying to stream more often as well. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow, and hopefully you guys can come by and check that out, where I'm having a good amount of fun with this set, but I hope it lasts, right? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. That would really help me out. We're going to be doing a lot more content. And yeah, hope you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.